The episode begins with Martell and Destiny having a very real and honest conversation. And the moment the two start talking, the energy in the room instantly shifts. Martell's behavior becomes loud, playful, and a little too childish for a grown man with his life experience. His actions in the scene show the same patterns we have seen from him before, and once again, he brings the kind of energy many women call boy energy. He talks about dating as if his only focus is sex, and he reacts as if a woman who sets boundaries is somehow doing something wrong. This is where the entire conversation becomes very interesting and important because it shows the difference between dating with purpose and dating for fun. And Martell makes it clear which side he stands on. Destiny, however, stays calm and confident. She explains that she believes in waiting, holding her standards, and not jumping into intimacy just to please a man. She does not say it with attitude or judgment. She simply sets her boundary and expects the same maturity from the man she talks to. Instead of respecting this, Martell becomes bothered and confused, and he tries to convince her that waiting will make it harder for her to get a man. The way he frames it shows how some men think women must give in early or they will lose them. But this thinking is not healthy and it does not build strong relationships. It only benefits the man who wants something fast and without commitment. Watching Martell speak this way is eye-opening because he is in his 40s, has 5 children, and has gone through a public marriage and divorce, yet he approaches dating like he is still a teenager learning about relationships for the first time. Destiny, on the other hand, tries to explain why she holds these values. She understands what she wants, she understands the mistakes she made in the past, and she is now dating with a purpose. Her calm energy makes Martell's behavior look even more immature. This contrast is important for many viewers because it shows how a woman with boundaries can create pressure for a man who does not want to grow emotionally. Instead of understanding her point, Martell acts as if her standards are a challenge. He tries to make it seem as if abstinence or waiting is a problem for men. But really, what he is saying reflects his own mindset, not a universal truth. After this moment, Destiny moves on to talk with Will, and this part of the episode takes the conversation even deeper. She asks him a question many women think about but sometimes avoid asking. She looks at him and says, "You have 4 children but have never been married. Why haven't you been married?" This is a powerful question because it forces a man to look at his choices, his goals, and how he approaches relationships. Will has children. He has experience, but he has not taken the step of marriage. For many women watching the show, this raises an important point. If a man has children but does not make marriage a priority, it is something to consider before getting serious with him. Destiny wants to understand if Will is someone with long-term intentions or someone who goes with the flow without commitment. This is a question that many women need to ask more often when dating men who have children. A man who has lived long enough to have multiple children from past relationships should have a clear plan for his future. If he does not, that becomes a red flag. Destiny shows courage by asking what many women are afraid to ask, and this shows her growth in the dating world. Chris Fletcher is part of the conversation too, watching and reacting to everything happening. His reactions show how confusing these topics can be, even for men. He listens to both Martell and Will, and he tries to understand the difference between their words and their actions. Chris often serves as the person who brings balance to these scenes. He is not messy, he is not dramatic, and he pays attention to the truth behind people's behavior. His presence adds another point of view that helps viewers see the bigger picture of dating, commitment, and standards. As the episode continues, the dynamics between Destiny, Martell, Will, and Chris reveal patterns that many people in the dating world experience. These patterns show up especially in the Black community, where women are often raised to be strong, independent, hardworking, and stable. But some men are not taught to lead in relationships, build strong families, or commit to long-term goals. This imbalance leads to situations where women settle for men who are not prepared emotionally or mentally. Martell and Will show 2 different examples of this issue. Martell avoids emotional maturity and focuses on physical connection. Will avoids marriage despite having children. Both of these patterns make dating harder for women who want serious relationships. Martell's comments about abstinence become even more troubling the more you listen to them. He tries to present the idea that a woman who waits will push men away, but what he is really saying is that he does not value women who set boundaries. Many young women watch shows like this, and hearing a man speak like this can confuse them. That is why it is important to break down these moments and talk about them honestly. Women should never feel pressured to compromise their standards for the sake of keeping a man. Respect is the foundation of any healthy relationship, and Destiny makes this clear through her actions. The conversation then shifts to Nellie, and her scenes show a completely different dynamic. Nellie is shown with her family, and her energy is loud, intense, and overwhelming. She raises her voice often, she argues, and her presence becomes stressful for the people around her. This is not just drama for the camera. Research has shown that yelling, arguing, and emotional intensity can affect a household, person's nervous system. Constant exposure to aggressive communication can lead to anxiety, stress, and even physical health problems. Nell's behavior shows what happens when someone has a lot of unprocessed emotions and trauma. Watching Nell interact with her family gives the audience an example of how communication styles affect relationships. It also highlights how important emotional intelligence is. Being loud, aggressive, or dominant in conversations does not build healthy connections. It pushes people away and creates a stressful environment. Even though Nell may not change immediately, her behavior becomes a point of discussion about how families communicate and how emotional habits affect everyone in the room. Going back to the dating storyline, the lesson about accountability becomes even clearer. Martell avoids accountability by complaining about women who set boundaries. Will avoids accountability by having children without clear commitment. Both men show signs of emotional immaturity, but Destiny challenges these patterns by asking important questions. She refuses to accept unclear intentions. She refuses to settle. She wants honesty, clarity, and respect, and she makes sure that any man who comes into her life understands this. Viewers watching these scenes can learn a lot. It shows the importance of asking the right questions when dating. It shows the importance of paying attention to a man's actions, not just his words. It shows the importance of setting boundaries early and never ignoring red flags. The show uses drama, but behind the drama are real-life lessons that many people need to hear. The episode goes deeper into the topic of women settling for less than they deserve. In the Black community especially, many women are told to date potential instead of dating someone who is already ready for commitment. This often leads to disappointment because potential does not always turn into action. A man who says he will change may not change. A man who says he will commit may never commit. A man who has children but no plan for marriage may continue living the same pattern. These scenes with Martell and Will show why it is important for women to expect more from the men they date. The statistics around marriage in the Black community also show the impact of these patterns. Only about 16% of Black women get married, and this is not because they are not worthy. It is because many of the men they date do not approach relationships with purpose. When men avoid commitment or emotional growth, women are left carrying the burden of settling or staying single. This is why Destiny's questions are so important. She is showing viewers that it is okay to want marriage. It is okay to expect commitment, and it is okay to walk away from a man who does not share your goals. As the episode continues, Destiny keeps showing emotional maturity. She listens, she asks, and she reflects. Martell keeps showing the opposite. He dismisses boundaries, avoids serious conversations, and focuses only on himself. This contrast creates a clear picture for viewers of what to avoid when dating. A man who is charming but emotionally immature will create stress. A man who is attractive but not responsible will cause disappointment. A A man who wants physical connection without emotional connection will waste time. Women deserve better than that, and Destiny's actions show that she understands this deeply. Will's situation brings up another point. Having children without marriage is not automatically a red flag, but when a man has multiple children and has never built a stable relationship, it is important to understand why. Does he avoid commitment? Does he avoid accountability? Does he fear marriage? These questions matter because they help women decide whether the man is someone who wants a long and healthy partnership. Destiny is smart to ask these questions early, and viewers should take note of this. Nell's scenes, although different from the dating storyline, also teach a lesson about relationships. Her loud and intense communication style shows how unhealed emotions can affect the people around her. It shows how trauma and stress can come out during family conversations. It shows how important emotional regulation is when talking to loved ones. The more we watch her scenes, the more we realize how important it is to understand ourselves before trying to build strong relationships with others. As the episode moves forward, the theme of emotional maturity becomes even more clear. Martell shows us how immaturity can affect relationships. Destiny shows us how strength and clarity can protect a woman's heart. Will shows us the importance of understanding a man's past to predict his future behavior. Chris shows us how valuable it is to have someone who observes and provides perspective. Nell shows us how emotional habits impact families and the people we love. Each of these characters represents something important. Martell is the man who refuses to grow up. Will is the man who does not plan ahead. Destiny is the woman who is learning and growing. Chris is the observer who thinks deeply. Nell is the example of how unaddressed emotions can affect everyone. Together, they show real-life examples of what people deal with in relationships every day. For viewers watching this episode, the lessons are clear. Always ask questions. Always set boundaries. Always expect respect. Always look for emotional maturity. Always pay attention to a person's actions, not just their words. Do not settle for someone who is not ready for you. Do not ignore red flags. Do not let anyone pressure you into compromising your values. The conversations between Martell, Destiny, Will, Chris, and Nell open doors for deeper discussions about dating, relationships, commitment, and communication. These scenes can help viewers think about their own relationships and what they want for their future. They can help women reflect on their standards and understand that having standards is not a weakness. It is a strength that protects them from heartbreak and wasted time. The episode ends with more upcoming drama, and it's clear that each character will continue showing their patterns in future episodes. Martell will likely keep avoiding emotional responsibility. Will may continue avoiding commitment. Destiny will keep asking the right questions. Chris will continue being the voice of balance. Nell will continue expressing her emotions in ways that affect her family. And viewers will continue learning from these scenes every week. As the story continues to unfold, pay close attention to how each character develops, what they learn, and how they handle the challenges ahead. Each moment in this episode gives viewers a chance to understand dating patterns, emotional growth, boundaries, self-respect, and the importance of choosing the right partner. The more we watch, the more we learn, not just about the cast, but about ourselves and the relationships we want in our own lives.